So,
this map, talk to us about it.
what do you want to know about it?
It's different. What's the key things that we need to know about this map?
It's unlikely that we'll see it on this because fewer of these games have gone tier 2 than I expected, but it is wider and more defensible than most, so we'll see. But the middle shallows, they are impassable to large ships and submarines. As we can see, both Flash and Drone are both starting in the water, with Sabutai and Jazzcash starting on the land in opposite positions. I was actually expecting a bit more variety. What you'll typically find when playing this, normally 3v3 or 4v4, I've not played in 2v2 much, is one player going land, one player going water or hovers. Hovers are very much a viable opener here, given the wide range of places that you can jump onto land from the water. Additionally, if you go hovers and they've expected sea, you may well find they've built torpedo launchers. Hovercraft are not shot at by torpedo launchers. So it's well worth bearing that in mind. The map itself is relatively high metal, with a lot of 2s and 2.2s for the metal extraction spots. It lends itself quite well to air because of all the high terrain. It's quite hard to move an army all around the map. I would expect vehicle starts from the ground chaps, and then sea starts from the sea chaps, as you can imagine. No one's actually chosen a factory just yet.
Sabutai has chosen a bot factory.
Oh, just as I pan away from him.
Yeah, it's always going to be the way, isn't it? That you make a statement and then you move, and then moments later the player just does the exact opposite of what you just said.
Yes, that has happened before.
So yes, fully expected. Flash is going water.
Yeah.
He's in the water. So the players that are currently in the water are naturally going to be a bit slower at claiming their eco, their mexes, and such. So
not necessarily. So the command, so water, it's worth bearing in mind that obviously you have tidal speed, and tidal here is 20, which is decently high. It's not amazing. It's not like, it's not a game breaker or something, but it is a high tidal. So it's a perfectly valid start. And if they build ships, the ships can go and expand and build the mexes perfectly quickly.
So yeah, that's as it plays up, I suppose. Just as they start out, it seems initially a bit of a disadvantage, but the ships will recoup that because of their sheer speed on the water.
It's worth bearing in mind also that the ship factory only costs 600 metal. They are actually quite cheap to produce.
Oh right, okay, so that's very handy to know. So Jazzcash has gone vehicle plant.
Yeah, that's as I was expecting there. The middle bit is so smooth and open that oftentimes you'll see people go Samsons or Slashers, the long-range missile truck, and just a war of attrition the opponent.
So as we're seeing now, ships and peewees and weasels all crossing that shallow straits in the middle. So this we're expecting this area to be a massive area of contention.
Yes, potentially. It's what you'd normally get is you get battle lines drawn up along the shore here where I've just drawn, and you'll have the forces face each other off, and that's what I was saying about the missile trucks. If you've got a massive missile trucks, it's much harder for your opponent to push in, because as soon as you start pushing in, you start taking losses. It's very discouraging, and either you need to commit to it or pull back as fast as possible.
So I've got Weasel exploring around behind Sabutai, looking for an easy kill. I think it may have just found a mex.
Yes. On this map, I would consider hitting the wind a little bit more, but he has spaced him out a little bit, so yeah. But because it's quite a high metal map, individual mechs is typically, it doesn't have a big impact. Energies have more of an impact early game. Jazzcash, bring out a lot of instigators at this point. Drone has started production of his corvettes, whereas Flash he's building a combination of corvettes and patrol boats. So the patrol boats have missiles on them, so they have longer range but less damage, but they can also shoot air.
So the Decade, does that have torpedoes on it?
The Decade being the...
Fast assault corvette.
No, that does not. So the only ships that can shoot underwater are the submarines and the destroyers. So the assault frigate, the fast assault corvette, and the patrol boat, none of those shoot underwater, which is what gives submarines their power. Commanders can shoot underwater, but a submarine will outrange a commander if memory serves, and is quite powerful against it. As you can see here, that corvette is not shooting the mechs because it can't see it, and the submarine has easy picking. Yeah. On the other hand, it's dealing significant damage against the patrol boat. The patrol boat obviously won because it was so low on health. Commander laser underwater proving effective. Yeah, I've just checked. Submarines do outrange commanders by a not insignificant amount.
I was getting a bit worried there with Flash's comm being around and there was other boats, but nothing can get him at the moment. So
Exactly,
he is
yeah.
safe for now. Set up a floating radar and sonar tower.
And he may have just realised that submarine cannot get into the shallows. It can sit where it is, but it can't get any further forwards. It can shoot through the shallows, but that's it. So it'll help defend the commander, as if the commander even needs defending. I think Flash has just realised that his submarine can't get there.
You see, it's like testing the waters and it's not getting through.
Looks like Drone's about to make that same mistake as well.
1 second, I just need to sort out some lobby stuff.
Oh, try going for a harpoon. Secure his side of the pond. Yeah, we've now got commanders around the periphery of the central straits, so battle lines starting to be drawn up.
Do you think we're going to see any amphibious unit pushes on this map? Seen that as both sides have ramps to the right hand side. As you can see, Sabutai is actually building some coastal defences and an LLT there at the bottom to defend that ramp.
Certainly possible. As I was saying, I think you were away at the time, but hovers and amphibious really do have an opportunity on this map. There's a lot more paths to the enemy, direct ones as well, via the water and underwater compared with the tundra map, the one that we were just on. At the moment, it's hard to call it, but the FX chaps have a 9.3 versus 8.4k metal lead, so they're in the lead in that regard, but it's far from game deciding.
I think
Drone
it's going
has
to...
also just...
Oh, sorry, I was saying it's probably going to be decided by an unexpected airstrike.
I can only hope so. Drone has just realised the same thing that Flash realised, that his submarines cannot get across the shallows. I suspect that he hasn't practiced this map before.
Flash is about to find the same thing with his Crusader.
Tarnished Knight, when someone's drawing the map, would you be able to remove it every now and again, please?
Yeah.
It's disrupting it for the spectators.
Sorry, it was your very helpful
Oh, yes.
battle lines that you were drawing.
At the time, very helpful. Now, probably less so.
Oh, no, I'll have them permanently cleared then.
Awesome. Sabutai has done a very nice little push through here with some of his peewees. He's taken out a couple of raiders. Or he took out a raider and then nearly took out another one. He won't get an awful lot done more because there are 2 more guarding the choke point. But he did take out the mechs, and that's obviously diverted attention for Jazz Cash.
The Crusaders are actually able to get into that area.
Yes, Crusaders can, but subs and big ships can't. So if they go to tier 2, that's when you'll see that take effect. Interestingly, Jazz Cash is going hard into solars rather than building wind. Wind doesn't go below 8, so typically wind is actually a very viable strategy here.
Sabutai's coastal torpedo launcher just took out a drone engineer. He's pushing along that bottom right, just building all of the metal points.
Now, my question is, do you think we're going to see a coastal battery, a Guardian or a Punisher?
Oh, yes, please.
My understanding is you build one of those, you win the game for your team. That's what Ragnar told me. There's no doubt about that.
They are very, very expensive to build.
They are, but in all fairness, if you position one correctly on one of the overlooking bluffs, then that really can make a difference and win you some sea fights quite easily.
Sabutai's
One
got a
thing
sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. I was going to say
Sabutai's
Sabutai pushed into the water on the bottom here.
he's put a radar over that to spot any trouble as well.
Now, the mistake there is that radar is on land, not on water. In water, the radar includes with it a sonar range. On land, it doesn't. So he won't see submarines with that. Sabutai, again, going with all of the energy storage. He's building 9 of them for this one.
Here we go. He's got hovercrafts now as well.
He's also transitioned to hovers, or hoovers. Flash is just pumping out destroyers with patrol boats. Oh, here we are, our first Tech 2 of the tournament. Jazz Cash is building a Tier 2 lab at the moment.
Ooh.
So if he manages... Yeah, vehicles. If he manages to get out a bit of an eco lead and then a bunch of Tier 2 tanks, that could take Sabutai completely by surprise. Sabutai also going for a metal, an energy converter economy. Typically not a great idea in a more competitive game, especially where you have this many mexes. The amount of metal that you will get from the energy converters is quite low. I feel like this might be a mistake on his part.
Well, Sabutai also has no units or anything defending that middle point right now. He's going purely for the harass. He wants to get in there, do as much damage with all these hovers as he can. It may be too late though, because he's spread the ball out, and drone's already moving units to block that.
Yeah, if he gets them past the ships, yeah, great. They're going to roam free and destroy 6 mexes maybe and a bunch of wins. You know, it's an incredibly effective surprise. Drone, obviously, though, as you said, he did have the unit in position already. I think he's going to cut off the assault.
Yeah, they were just coming in a bit too off a production line and being a bit fanned out a bit too much to be able to concentrate.
If the Raiders might have gone first, it might have been a different story, but unfortunately the Raiders were behind the hover tanks, and it's a bit late now.
In the middle, we're seeing some difference when you have more ships and micro versus less ships and no micro. Flash took very little damage with his 4 destroyers against 2, because if he keeps moving them, they don't take damage, whereas Drone was obviously looking elsewhere. He took a lot of damage with his ships. And also, Sabutai, a couple of his scouts have gotten into Drone's base.
Trying desperately to do some damage, but so far it's been relatively ineffective.
They're so weak they can get killed by nano turrets, unfortunately.
Another thing, out of that Tech 2 factory is being built crops.
Interesting update. Someone has said that cruisers and missile frigates, aircraft carriers of all things, and jammers and flak can go through the middle, but battleships can't. I was incorrect on that, along with submarines, obviously.
I've had missile cruisers not be able to travel over that when I played them. But that was a while ago. Maybe it's changed since
I have to say it could have changed. We'll see what happens if any of them get a Tier 2 factory, and I will check as soon as one of them builds it, because I can bring up the movement mechs, so movement overlay.
VAR is such a nuanced game, and so many layers and little interactions and stuff. You know, it's hard to keep track of all the funny little rules and everything that
it can
run
be.
into.
I would say the bigger thing for me is how best to communicate those to a new player. How do you tell them about all the different ways that things interact? And one of the things we are doing is there's going to hopefully be a new interface improvement soon, along with tutorials, which will hopefully go a long way to changing that. But at the moment, definitely. The geothermal thing's a really good example of that. Before, you didn't have those pictures. Nice attack there from Flash, though.
Yeah, being supported by Superkai coming in.
The 2 Tech 2 flashes hunting down Sabutai there.
So Jazz Cash is going for Reapers, the basic Tier 2 battle tank. He's just started to pump them out now. He's built 1 mech and he's on his second Tier 2 mechs. Tier 2 obviously giving approximately a 4 times economic advantage for the metal production itself anyway, but also giving you access to much more interesting units.
Oh, this is the base wipe here for Drone.
This is not good. Drone is in a very bad situation right now.
His command has already been pulled out, so
very
relatively safe.
You say that, there are a bunch of hovers breaking onto land now.
Jazz Cash started building a Tech 2 economy with metal mines. going up.
I've also got to say the unexpected air raid is being prepared at the moment.
Not going to be expected now. He's already got scouts.
Yeah, he mistimed that. You want to send the scouts just ahead of the bombers, not at this stage. Now they've seen the scouts, you should see them start building anti-air very quickly. In fact, Jazzcash is already 3/4 of the way through his first flak truck. That will shoot down the bombers very well.
The Crocs made it through as well. Looks like they're about to be gunship to death by the single Tech 1 gunship.
The Tech 1 gunship will take a while to kill them, but if the Crocs keep going further forwards, they're going to start doing stuff. But Jazzcash is otherwise distracted, I believe. The Crocs are currently shooting aircraft.
Drones ain't why boats so bad, and yeah, it was boats that did most of the damage to him.
I was going to say, he lost to boats, not to hovers. Hovers helped, but it was the boats that won there. He just got outnumbered and out-ecoed, I think.
Got some bombers moving in. I think this might be an interesting play where he sent the scouts one way and was
The
hoping
flak
that...
is out of position.
Yeah, that was the hope, I think.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah, they're not going to get a second pass. That flak has got some good range.
All he
he's
got was solar power though.
Yeah,
Is it gonna
Jazzcash
be
got
enough?
plenty of energy still. He's destroyed another solar plant, but that's it.
Yeah.
The hovers are doing far more at the moment.
Flash's comm is very far forward, moving into Drone's old base.
Yes, but what have they got to deal with it?
That
They
is
have nothing that can attack it at the moment. So we have some more gunships coming over now to attack the far south of Jazzcash's stuff, where he's got a little bit of eco. Nothing crazy, but it'll be quite a nice little bonus. Those hovers really showing their worth.
These are Banshee-like gunships currently doing their magic down in the south.
Yeah.
Although they're
Now
probably focusing on the wrong target, because I think the levelers are quite resilient.
Levelers are very resilient. If they had all focused on the missile turret, they'd have destroyed it before it destroyed too many of them. As it is, the Banshees are very flimsy, and as we saw, the missile turret has taken all of them out. More are now arriving, so they will focus down that first. But the flak will clear all of that up without any effort whatsoever, I think.
Yeah, they're just swatting the flies now at this point.
Yeah. We've got a 10k lead for metal produced for Sabutai and Flash. And they are continuing to harass. However, the tier 1 air units, they're falling away in effectiveness very quickly here. And we can see Jazzcash even has his own airport, presumably to build fighters. Drone now rebuilding on the land as well with a donated tier 2 constructor.
Flash has got hovers now as well as naval.
It's like that idea. So
Sabutai is still sticking with just an air factory, but he has got Tech 2 air. Maybe because he has a large amount of area, he wants to Tech 2 up quickly.
well, he's found some lovely defense, some base parts in the north that are not protected against air. So cleaning those up a bit. Jazzcash having a bit of an energy problem.
He's also got a single submarine just shooting at him.
That's always a bit of a worry. His commanders are pretty much defenseless underwater.
Well, they have a very basic laser, but not much. He probably does not want to get his commander up for those aircraft rather than
If Drone and Jazzcash can just get their flak into the right place, they can make it safe for Jazzcash comms to come out. At the moment, they're keeping back, and they've taken out quite a bit of economy there. They probably don't need to do much more now.
Sabutai is kind of using all this lull time now, as they've got them all boxed in to completely get a full Tech 2 economy up and running. He's not building any combat units right now whatsoever. There's still a Mex point right in the front that hasn't been taken though, on that hill. By Sabutai, on both hills actually, even though it's well behind hostile territory.
Flags. Find new angles to pressure Jazzcash. So I think the very heavy tanks that Jazzcash, so Drone is providing are doing enough at keeping them at bay.
The Tech 2 pop-up defences are very good at dealing with hovercrafts as well. Unfortunately, it doesn't have any spare Tech 2 engineers right now. Obviously needs those units out.
Jazcash has gone into stealth.
About to run out of energy though.
Yeah, it's starting to fail him. He's doing well. He's not in a good way. That's an interesting idea. He starts to reclaim. Runs the risk of revealing his location. Nice few blade wings in there to down. Yeah,
funny thing we just saw there as well. Those torpedoes that were coming at Jazcash was Jazcash's own ship.
They've paused the game for a moment. Okay.
We've got Tech 2 gunships being stationed on this island out here.
Which island?
The south. Little small
Oh,
island.
I see.
Tech 2
Yes.
gunships starting to be.
And there we go. Jazz bites the bullet.
And here come in the gunships.
Let's have a look. Wonder if Sabutai and Flash know about the fusion reactor. Going for it at the moment, but that would be a nice juicy target.
Not gonna matter at this point. Flash is pushing in with the ground force, and Sabutai coming in with the air force to soften up those defences beforehand. That Banisher, sorry, is got a huge amount of splash damage there. They might take a lot of those tanks out. Not as much splash them as I remember though, apparently.
Banishes. Impressive. Very long range, lot of splash. Kind of surprised that with the airstrike, I didn't go for the metal mines. The
I feel
three
like
of them.
Flash is just going for a self-D here. He's literally just walked up onto shore, uncontested.
Building a radar. It's like, oh, I'm going to tease you now.
Yes.
Have you noticed me? Are you paying attention?
We've got
Massive.
a resurrection sub from Flash. Is he going to get himself a third com?
That would be a nice move. We've got a 113 to 78k metal advantage in favour of the east side. I can't see how they're going to lose at this stage.
They've got 20 plus raiders, Tech 2 raiders
Yeah.
inbound, and 13 Fidos on their way as well.
I think he's reclaiming the com rather than resurrecting it.
Shame, would have been nice to see them com bomb with
With your own com.
Jazcash's com. Yeah.
But no, it's Jazcash is defending his base.
Sabutai just donated a Tech 2 engineer to Jazcash there.
It's very generous.
Battle lines drawn with quite a few Fidos there.
The Fidos are very good, especially against Tier 1, but they'll lose out to decent Tier 2 tanks. And the combination of Banishers and Reapers, so it's a really strong combination. They'll outrange the Fidos. The problem is the Banisher can't fire directly backwards. And I think, I think Jazcash has no radar, so he can't see the Fidos properly.
Here comes the zippers as well.
Yeah. Jazcash's radar goes up to that line there.
Those zippers just getting.
Not being properly supported by the Fidos.
No.
Fidos work really well when they're actually supporting other units.
The Zipper's job, I think, here was to force the
back.
heavier tank back, yeah. What they should be looking to do is Sabutai should back off, pull those tanks forwards, and then Flash's hovercrafts push in unopposed.
Oh, those Fidos just getting destroyed.
Yeah, they just don't have the staying power of the tanks. They've
Saying
got-
that is a large force of anacondas. Oh, but here we see that Viper popper that I was on about.
Yeah, the Viper will do a lot of damage, and it's well supported. The interesting part, if that Behemoth had been finished, this attack would have been cancelled out near enough.
Got some bombers.
Are they going to do anything though? Really? There's a lot. There's a lovely wall of freedom fighters in the middle of the map. Thou shalt not pass without.
The bombers will take out a mech or two at most. There's enough AA there that they're not going to get many passes. Sensibly, Sabutai has spread his bombers out, so rather than all attacking the same target, they're attacking an area, and they're able to do quite a bit of damage that way. But not enough to make it worthwhile, I would have thought.
One thing to note that he actually reclaimed his Tech 2 air factory and rebuilt a Tech 1 air factory.
That is interesting.
He's also got a nuke defense.
I was literally about to comment on that. We've got a nuke defense on the east, but not the west.
Flash is building Tech 2 naval shipyard right now as well.
Hang on, those bombers are still flying around. I thought Jazzcash had a lot more anti-air in his base.
This is another squad that came up separately over Jazzcash. So the ones that went to the south, they've been taken out, and this was a separate one. So there's a third wave coming in now.
And they're all targeting just this bit here.
Go in and
yeah, they've now retargeted. No, he's not retargeted them.
They've got the air factory.
Yep. If he takes out a load of the nanos or the fusions,
yeah, it's that fusion reactor's the big one.
yeah, it'll blow up nicely, but it's not an advanced fusion, so it won't take out the base with it. There is another one nearly finished. If you can take that out, then I can't see Jazzcash coming back at all. I wouldn't be surprised to see a GG at that stage. Yep, in fact, Jazzcash has left.
Yeah,
So that's a win to Sabutai and Flash.
wow, first win of stage 4. That's always a good start. So jump to the